Hey all, welcome back to this video tutorial on application development using Angular and REST API. In the last video, we saw how to create an API, and we had created two APIs. One is Authenticate API and the second one is REST API. And while testing this API, we were getting these null values, and let's see what is the reason we are getting these null values. Maybe there would be a small mistake that let's just identify, and then let's recover, and then later on we'll create the Angular application, and from which we will call these API. So here we go. So here is the user and authenticate. I'm passing the user, and here we go. In the response entity, I am actually passing the temp. Yeah, earlier I was passing user. Now it should be actually temp. So earlier it was like user. Now I'm going to put that as temp, and then it will work fine. So let's test now with the updated code, and there you go, we are getting these correct values. And let's also test the registry API. Let's also try to store these values. So I'll just copy this, and just a moment, I'll just copy this entire object, paste here, and we'll change the names here. So let's say b@a.com, and here I'll say 54321 Ramesh, Mumbai. Okay, and here I'll say register. All right, and then I'll say send, making a request, and user created successfully. Now the data should be inserted in the table. Let's go and check whether the data has been submitted to the database or not. I will execute this query one more time, and there you go, b@a.com is also present in the database. So this is now working. My code is working on the server side. I have written this API successfully. Now let's go over to the client side application, which is AngularJS, and let's create the application and call these APIs. For that, you need to install Node.js. Okay, and once you install Node.js, you'll also get an npm, that is Node Package Manager, which is used for installing some dependencies at runtime. We'll get to see the use of npm. And once you install Node.js npm, and you will also need a Visual Studio Code for working with Angular, because it has support for syntax checking and auto completion. Visual Studio Code. All right, so now these are the things we need. So you do not need to actually install npm. They'll get installed automatically when you install Node.js, and Visual Studio Code is needed. And once you install Node.js and Visual Studio Code, you can execute npm install @angular/client. So it is going to install the Angular client, that is ng. With the help of ng, we can create the Angular project. So ng is used for creating Angular project. So the command is ng new video dash streaming dash app, and I will just put this as Angular. So this will be the project name. That project will be created with this command. So in order to execute this command, you must first execute this command, npm install @angular/client. So let's open the command prompt and execute. So I'll say npm install. So npm is Node Package Manager. Npm install @angular/client. So again, you must have internet connection, which should be an open internet connection. And when you execute this command, it will install that client. So since I already have the Angular client installed, I will not execute this command. And then once you do that, I will say ng new, and Angular dash video dash streaming dash app. And once I do that, so it's going to ask me two things. One is whether or not you need the routing into your application or not. So I want a routing support, so I'll say yes. And then which type of style sheet format you want to use. So by default is CSS. I'll just enter in order to use CSS. And then it creates that structure. That structure now is created that you can open into Visual Studio Code, but it will take some time depending on your internet speed. And once it is created, it will download all the dependencies which are present in the package.json. That will be the file which is present in this project, which is going to hold all the dependencies. So all the dependencies are downloaded, and uh, then you can work on the project. So once this project is created, what you can do is you can go inside that project using the command prompt, and then you can execute ngserve command. So ngserve command is to run the Angular application, which is going to run on the live development server. Okay, and it will be running on to 4200 port. That's the default port which is used for running this development server. And in order to get your output, you can go to this website, I mean the URL http://localhost, and the moment command after executing ngserve, you will see the output onto the browser. So based on the internet speed, this application development will take some time. Alright, my application has been successfully created. So what I will now do is I'll open that application into a Visual Studio Code. So I'll just go to Visual Studio Code, and then I will open that project into Visual Studio Code. So I'll go to File, Open Folder, and I will select that folder from here. So there it is, Angular Video Streaming App. I'll select that project, and there is my project. There's my project, and if you see the structure, it is like end to end, E to E, the node modules in which all the dependencies have been installed. Okay, then SRC is the folder in which you will be working all the time as a developer. And there are few more things that you do not need to worry as of now. Angular.json is an important file that we'll visit sometime in the application development. Package.json, which contains all the dependencies. Apart from these files, you do not need to know any other things about this. So since you are already creating this project, let's go ahead and execute the command. That is, I'll go to view, and I'll open the terminal here itself, so that I do not need to switch between the command prompt and the Visual Studio Code. I will say ngserve. It will take some time because the first time it is getting executed, and it also gives us a live development server, which is actually going to take your changes the moment you save the code. So it will redeploy your application onto this development server, and then you can just check the output. And if you see the directory structure, this app has a root component. This is a routing module. Okay, all the routing part will be done into this routing module. This is the component CSS file. This is a root component. Okay, and the HTML for root component is this. Okay, and component testing can be done into this spec.ts. That is not required. If you want, you can delete this file. And app.component.ts is the code, the component code. So if you see, AngularJS has two parts, component view and component code. So in the component view, you will add the HTML code, and in the component code, you will add this code, which is a TypeScript code. And then this is a module, so app.module.ts, in which we are saying that this is going to be my root module. So there you see, here I'm writing app component as the uh, component here. Then I'm also writing browser module, Angular app routing module also I'm importing, and I'm bootstrapping the app component. So that's where you will see that app component running as a root component. So now it has been successfully compiled and then deployed onto the server. So I'll just go to localhost colon 4200 and then I will run it, and there you see this root component, that is your app component. So app component.html. So what we can do is we can remove all of this code and you can put your message. So welcome to Angular application. Save it, and then you can just say this output. So you do not need to make any changes, because the moment you save your changes, it will automatically compile. So here is my output. Now what I will do is I will also add the bootstrap into my application, because we need the UI for it. So for adding bootstrap, see these steps. You need to execute npm install bootstrap. So that's where the advantage of npm. At runtime, if you want any dependencies, you can directly install. So npm install bootstrap, the latest version of bootstrap will be installed, and that will be stored into node modules folder, and then you can apply that into your application. So for applying into the application, what you can do is you can go to this angular.json once this file gets downloaded. So it takes some time again based on the internet speed. So in case you do not have internet connection, it will throw the errors. So now let it download, and then we'll add some uh, content and we'll apply the bootstrap to it. So let's wait. Yeah, it is, I think, done. So now yeah, it is done. Then I'll go to my angular.json file and we'll find the styles tab here. There is a styles tab. So if you look at the file, all the application specific configuration is provided into this. So after the assets, I'm going to say styles, and here I will put the /node modules slash bootstrap slash dist slash css slash bootstrap dot css. If I show you this folder here, if I show you this file here, you go to node modules, and there you see the bootstrap. Yeah, there we go, bootstrap. I'm expanding that, and there is dist folder. Inside that there is css folder. Inside that we have bootstrap.css. There is that is the file I'm going to use here. And to see whether it has been applied or not, I'm going to just say class alert dash info, and there you see the output. So again I need to say ng serve in order to deploy this onto the development server. So again, initially it will take some time, but once it is up and running, then you can make your changes and you're done. So looks like there is a problem here. I'll just delete these things. Yeah, okay, so now you see that the output. I'll just refresh, and there you see that the bootstrap has been applied successfully. There you see how it is looking onto the page. So that's what we have in this video. In the next video, we'll add more components into our Angular application, from which we can call the REST API. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.